6 years passed like a dream. I was no longer the lonely woman across the street. I was Mama Triplets, the woman who walked Eli, Alicia, and Eliana to school every morning, the one who clapped proudly during their school plays, the one who sat at the dining table helping with homework late into the night. My neighbors admired me, I noticed. They whispered, "What a strong woman. What a mother's heart." But across the street, jealousy brewed. Teg, sipping coffee in her balcony chair, would often spot us, me walking with the triplets, their little hands tucked in mine, their voices calling me Mama. At first, Teg dismissed it. She told herself she didn't care. But the word Mama became a thorn in her heart. Each time she heard it, her chest tightened, her teeth clenched. One evening, as the triplets laughed with me outside, Teg turned to Jonas. "I can't take this anymore," she said bitterly. Jonas glanced up from his phone. "Take what?" "She kept them away from us." Jonas frowned. "Teg, you never wanted them. You begged her to take them. That doesn't matter. They are mine. My blood. My children. And they call her Mama. Me. The woman who carried them for 9 months. They look at me like I'm a stranger." Teg interjected. Jonas sighed, setting his phone down. "So what do you want to do?" Teg's eyes gleamed with resolve. "We're taking them back." "Okay," Jonas said. "Do you think she will hand over our children without a fight?" "We don't have to fight," Teg replied. The letter arrived on a rainy afternoon. The ink blurred as drops from my trembling hands smeared the page. Summons to appear before the family court regarding custody of Eli, Alicia, and Eliana. My knees buckled. I dropped into a chair, the paper clutched as though it had the power to tear my world apart. When the triplets came home from school, their uniforms damp, their laughter spilling into the house like sunlight breaking through storm clouds, I forced a smile. I dried their hair, warmed their hands with mine, and listened to their stories about how their day in school went. But behind every laugh, dread pressed down on me. That night, while they slept, I sat beside their beds, stroking their hair. "Lord, don't let them take my children. Don't let them take my heart." The courtroom was packed on the first day. Journalists scribbled in notebooks, cameras flashed. Neighbors filled the benches, whispering behind their hands. Teg walked in first, glittering in a gown that shimmered beneath the harsh lights. Her chin tilted high, eyes hard as stone. Jonas followed in a crisp suit, his gaze darting briefly toward me before falling to the floor. For a second, I thought I saw shame in his eyes, but it vanished as quickly as it came. I sat quietly, my clothes simple, my hands wrapped around a worn photo of Eli, Alicia, and Eliana on their 5th birthday, faces smeared with cake, their tiny arms looped around my neck. Teg's lawyer rose, his voice sharp and commanding. "Your Honor, these children belong to my clients by blood. My client, Teg, never legally surrendered them. Hori unlawfully kept them, denying their rightful parents." The courtroom hummed with murmurs. Teg stood abruptly, her voice cutting the murmurs. "She deceived me. She took advantage of me when I was weak. They are my children. My blood. And they call her Mama, me. The woman who carried them for 9 months, and now they look at me as if I were nothing." Her words struck like knives. My lawyer rose, calm but firm. "Your Honor, my client never stole these children. She saved them. The biological parents abandoned them, left them locked in a room, crying for hours. For 6 years, Hori has been their mother in every way except by blood. She has fed them, bathed them, educated them, and loved them. We will present proof that the welfare of Eli, Alicia, and Eliana rests with her." I gripped the photo tighter. The first time Alicia called me Mama. The first time Eli ran into my arms after school. The first time Eliana kissed my cheek goodnight. How can anyone erase that? The judge's gavel struck, sharp as thunder. This case is not about ownership, he declared. His deep voice silenced the whispers. It is about welfare. The children's best interest will guide this court. Both sides will be heard before judgment. My heart pounded. My children's laughter echoed in my memory, louder than the restless crowd around me. The battle had begun. Weeks turned into months. Each session left me more exhausted. I faced accusations, humiliation, and sleepless nights. Still, I clung to faith, and to Eli, Alicia, and Eliana, who were too young to understand why Mama sometimes came home with swollen eyes. Finally, the day of judgment came. The courtroom was silent, heavy with anticipation. The judge's voice was steady as he spoke. This court acknowledges that Teg and Jonas are the biological parents of Eli, Alicia, and Eliana. However, we do not rule based on biology alone. We rule on welfare and happiness. He turned to Teg. You admitted to locking your infants in a room so their cries would not disturb you. You abandoned them to the care of another woman, who for 6 years has been their sole guardian. These children know her as their mother. The room held its breath. Therefore, the judge said firmly, custody of Eli, Alicia, and Eliana is hereby granted to Hori. For the children's happiness and future, they shall remain with the woman who has raised them as her own. Gasps erupted. I covered my face with my hands, sobbing quietly. Eli, Alicia, and Eliana, seated with a social worker, looked confused but clung to my skirt when I rose. Teg's face twisted in fury. Jonas lowered his head, saying nothing. The gavel struck. Case closed. But for me, the battle was far from over.
Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed telling it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share. Don't miss our next adventure.